Hey there YouTube, this is Wheelchair21 and on today's rolling review we'll be looking at Mini-Pla Kyutama Gattai Series 3 Ryu Teio, which is from Uchu Sentai Kyuranger, the most current season of Sentai in Japan. Now these are the individual sets as we've seen on my channel. We've seen Series 1 and Series 2 and now we have Series 3. The assortment, unlike the previous ones, is an assortment of 5 and it features 3 for Ryu Voyager, 1 for Oguma and Coguma Voyager, as well as an additional Sasori, which I did not build due to the fact that I already have one previously built due to set 2. The only difference really is this small little sticker that goes inside of the Kyutama. I honestly love the box art, and I love the top of the box as well. The box art on the top here is just splendid, and if I could get a good scan of this, I would make it most likely my cover photo on my personal Facebook. The side shows Ryu Teio, and then on the back it shows the previous sets as well as our combination that we'll get to when we're done with the video. Pretty much we have to go through every single piece. We have to go through Ryuteioh's individual parts. We have to go with Koguma's actual optional piece to be a foot for Kyurenoh. And then we can actually go with the mecha and the combination. And honestly, some people love this form in the show, some people hate this form in the show, and I'm kind of indifferent. I think it's a really nice form, but I don't know how well it's going to hold up when we finally assemble our two kits together. So, let's get on with this goddamn review. Now here we have the actual Voyagers assembled, painted, and practically stickered. There's only a few stickers mostly missing from actually Oguma and Coguma to actually be noticeable, such as like their eyes and areas on the actual like freaking football helmet thing that he has. Now the reason that is because I do intend to disassemble the blue section of the mecha for Oguma and Kaguma to repaint, because I personally do not think it came out as well as I wanted it to. Now one thing is, starting off with this set, or I should say this piece of the set, is I actually love the main piece of the two-piece mecha. I love the whole, like, bear, I guess, crawler kind of thing that it's supposed to be. It's like some kind of dune buggy, and I really do enjoy it. It really looks amazing and awesome, and I just love the overall design. It does have a bit of a jaw articulation at the bottom here, but it's not that really noticeable. I really do love the nice clear blue frickin' Kyutama piece. It's really nice, and it really helps to identify the goddamn cockpit. It looks really good, and I think the sticker's really nice and neat. The one thing I still just don't really like about this mecha is the little drone piece thing. It's kind of like the Armadillo and Gal Ranger. It just kind of goes around and scoots around, and it makes no sense. It's supposed to be like a bear, like on a unicycle in the circus, and it just looks so frickin' ridiculous. I just hate this aspect of the mecha, and I think it actually hurts the overall design, especially when you combine it into arm mode as well as foot mode, because it just kind of sticks out on either pegs here, depending on which side of the body one puts it on. But it does actually roll, which is really good. I just really enjoy the whole vehicle aspect of it rolling. It's loud, it's jarring, but I still overly enjoy it. The Scorpio, we've already talked about, we've seen it before on my previous review, and the only issue really I had assembling it was that I got a little bit of too much paint inside its legs, so it doesn't really fold and collapse real well when you're trying to put it into an arm or put it into a foot. But overall, I mean, I do enjoy this Voyager. It looks very nice. It just doesn't work good as really an arm or a foot. It's just really weird. The main event really is Ryu Voyager, because one, you got his awesome little cockpit here, which I really do love this purple. It's really nice, it's very elegant, and very frickin' beautiful. Whereas you have the freaking Voyager itself, 3 pieces from 3 different sets, composed into one almost foot-long dragon. Like, this is probably a foot or longer. And the thing that I love about it is really a lot of the detail in the actual cast and molding, where then when it's painted it stands out either quite a bit more or not, depending on the light that hits it. I don't really like the undercarriage. It's very bare, very open, and very ridiculous at times, just because of how it just kind of folds in on itself to become the torso. I really like the sticker that they give you for the tail. I kept that sticker because it just looks very nice. It's very shiny and metallic. And overall, it's pretty great. The only thing I forgot to do is rotate the head back around when I have it in dragon form. That's not supposed to be visible, but I goofed when reassembling it. But overall, it's very nice, and the cool part about it is this weird Greymon-looking head is just a helmet, and underneath is like a really interesting kind of Chinese dragon, or Asian dragon. I really like it, it's cool, and the place where you plug in the Voyager, or I should say the Kyutama, into the Voyager in vehicle form, or dragon form, is right here under the neck and in between the arms. Honestly, it plugs in pretty good, pretty snug, but it does pop out from time to time. And honestly, it does have several points of articulation, mostly due to the fact that it does become a frickin', you know, body piece. So, like, the leg articulation really does help give it the actual real flow and motion that the dragon should have on screen. It just doesn't bend that good due to the overall shoulders that combined in the midsection. I mean, the fact that these are actually the shoulders and the ports for your limbs is actually really interesting. And for the basic combination, all one really needs to do is just pull this apart and fold it down, spin your legs around, and pretty much you got your torso. Now, when fully combined, Ryu Teio is actually quite a splendid mecha. However, using Oguma as an arm is very detrimental. It's a very big and blocky mecha, and it really does insist for you to use one of the actual cod pieces from freaking the Washi Voyager or Sasori. Now, the only reason I have this weird little clear rubber band was it was right next to me when I picked it up, and it somehow slipped on my finger. So that's a weird botch, but it does really make you want to use this. However, due to time constraints and wanting to be able to easily transition it into a foot, I am not doing that. Now, honestly, it is a weird and interesting configuration, to be honest with everyone. And I just think that it does hinder it quite a bit, even if it was to have the actual additional piece to it. Due to the fact of how the shoulders really work, they're inverted to be inside the plate. You have your leg articulation, your knee, and you actually have a foot, which is actually one of the better parts about Ryuteioh. Ryuteioh is a more solid body. However, due to the arms of the dragon, it does hinder the balance or the equilibrium to getting it to stand properly right like a normal human being or figurine. It kind of either tilts to the right, either tilts to the left, and it's all due to the configuration of your actual molding here on the limbs of its legs as well as the bigger, broader dragon legs itself. But I do really enjoy like how it looks, at least with Sasori. The right half, not so much. I just really don't like freaking the Oguma Coguma as an arm. It just stands out there ridiculously, as well as I do think that the actual Greymon-esque dragon helmet is a little too big and bulky and really shadows out the natural face of the combination, because honestly, the weird-esque Gurren Lagann like actual sunglasses that it has for eyes are pretty awesome and badass, and I think it clashes real well with the whole aesthetic of the mecha, as well as Shonlongpo's character. Now, I'm going to reattach the helmet, and then quickly show everyone what Oguma/Koguma looks like as a foot for Kyurenoh. Now, as a foot, it looks frickin' splendid. I mean, I just love how bulky and foot-like this is. This looks like a really nice boot that you would want to shove up your enemy's ass and deal them a good feel of justice. I mean, this thing is just amazing, and I really think that I would love to have another Voyager similar to this design to complement it on the actual opposite side. I mean, it is a little bit bigger, it's a little bit bulkier than Oishi, as well as Okami, and it does give it just a little bit of an off-balance and off-kilter, but I overly do think that this is one of the most solid foot or feet in the goddamn show. I mean, it can be either left or right, It can be amazing, it can be awesome, and honestly, like I said, I think this is the best foot, followed by Oshi, followed by Ukami. Like, these are the 3 feet you want to use for any Kyurenoh combination, because everything else is just ass. Now, to combine it with Ryuteioh, one is going to have to take off Chameleon and Kajiki, put them onto your actual Ryu Voyager, or I should say Ryu Teio, and put Oguma in the right slot, Sasori in the left spot, and then pretty much plug it on the back. It's almost like an O-Ranger or Power Ranger Zeo combination, where it just kind of goes over the back and forms freaking power cannons to the back. Alright, Ryutei Kyurenoh is actually a really cool combination. It really reminds me of Power Ranger Zeo, the Zeo Battle Megazord, where it combined the 2 mechas and it became like cannons for the regular Zeo Megazord. However, instead of turning backwards and flipping onto it, it goes straight on like it's going to try to get it like a piggyback ride, and it connects into the spine and into the calves of your Sasori Voyager, or to Kyurenoh specifically. The Greymon-esque helmet goes right onto Sasori Red's cockpit and Kyutama to make it look more like an actual dragon cannon, and makes it look really beefy and monstrous due to the fact that Kajiki and Chameleon serve as shoulder armaments to the actual combination. Now, because of how it forms, it does lose its leg articulation, but still maintains its arms. And honestly, the only thing I hate about the combination is the fact that really Oguma/Coguma is not a really great arm. It's a better foot, however you can't use it in the combination. My other small nitpick is the fact that the other Voyagers like Tenbin and Hibitsu Sky aren't really used, but due to the playability and the accessibility of the switching gimmick of the Kyutamas themselves, one can easily switch in which ones they want to where they want them to accordingly. So, I mean, you could take out Sasori Koguma and replace them for Tenbin and Hibitsu Sky, or Kajiki and Chameleon. I mean, that's pretty freaking easy to do. Now, it does get wobbly and does have a bit of issues of counterbalance, but it also relies on mostly where you place the feet or the tail and the head of the dragon to make sure it stays sturdy enough. I found that out after taking multiple takes of this figure, trying to figure out its balancing issues. It still is a little bit wobbly, but it still is almost balanced out now due to the placement of its feet as Ryu Teio. Now, for the actual overall set on its own, I do like it. I just really prefer this as a foot, which is still astonishing, seeing that I can't even use my feet in general. But it is a nice mecha. They're great. I love the playability, and I think when Kyuranger comes to America, kids are really going to love this Scramble City-esque gimmick to the limbs, because, I mean, we've had that way Combiner Wars for a while now, and people are just going to really eat that up, and I think it's going to be one of the more popular Power Rangers toy lines. So, as a Mini-Pla, it's good, it's stable. However, I think it could be a whole lot better, but I still enjoy it nevertheless. People can find like this stuff almost at any website. You have the single packs, you have the case sets, and there's going to be like premium, like metallic versions coming out as reissues. So there's at least a few varieties of ways that people can at least find a way to own these combinations and figurines and model kits thus far. So you can check out this video here on my YouTube channel, as well as the rest of my Mini-Pla library dating back to Shinkenger. You can also check out my Monster Arts, my Ultra Acts, my Figuarts, and random other toy reviews that I do here, as well as you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and over at HeroClub.com, which is celebrating its 1-year anniversary. And I'll see you all next time on Spin the Wheel, followed by most likely a new rolling review and or Doyle's DVDs, depending on if my scheduling works out correctly.